We have an alleged render. Giz China coming through. Chinese gadget reviews, baby. It actually looks like a photo. It almost looks like a leaked marketing image, but they're calling it a render. And it's a side profile of potentially the upcoming Huawei P40. I used the P30 for a period of time. For whatever reason, I feel like I gravitated more to the P series than the Mate series in general as I was using Huawei devices. Of course, as far as the P30 was concerned, I couldn't find a case I liked for it. That was too bad. Would have been nice. I don't know if anybody wants to make it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe support for Huawei coming up. I don't know. We'll see how it works out on the votes, but I would like to support Huawei if possible, if the numbers are out there. We'll see. But it's hard when you get into the various other brands. And I polled the audience, and it was interesting to see just how many, the percentage map of what people are using. There was as many Apple users as there were in the other category, like 30-something%. We had like 600,000 votes for different devices on the YouTube page. And of course, there's the device vote mechanism on the later case site. And it was a big part of the motivation, as I've mentioned in the past, is to find a way to support far more devices than were currently being supported out in the marketplace. So you can see the list there of devices people are hoping for. I think one of the early ones on the list is actually going to be the Pocophone, which you can't, there's no third-party accessories, very few third-party accessories for something like that beyond your typical plastic case. If you want something different, it's going to be tough. But the Huawei devices are interesting to me as well because they're sort of premium price tag to begin with. And one of the drawbacks you might feel about gravitating towards an alternative brand than you're used to, say if you move away from Apple, is, wait, what's the accessory ecosystem looking like over there? And that was a real strength of the Apple ecosystem for a long time, certainly in the early days. You could get, you had 1,000 different accessories to choose from with the earliest iPhones. You flip over to some Samsung Galaxy early days, and all of a sudden, you head to the store. The Galaxy section is like three objects over there hanging on the shelf. You felt second class.
Yeah.
And so it kind of was not an ideal experience. Anyway, we have this side profile, the P40, and one thing you're able to take away from it, it's got this aggressive waterfall situation going on, which probably pulled from the latest Mate series. Now, maybe not quite as aggressive. That was the most aggressive I've seen, was the latest Mate device. I put the picture on social media. That thing is really wrapping around the back of the phone. Practicality, well, you're going to need some extended usage to figure that one out. But from a visual standpoint, man, it does make an impact. You cannot deny it makes an impact from a visual standpoint. So anyway, the P40 is probably going to take some inspiration or shared DNA, the P series from the Mate series. There's the image that I was talking about. That's a crazy wraparound waterfall display. So this may take some inspiration from there, but maybe not as aggressive. There's also, supposedly, people can tell just from this subtle image that there's going to be an increase in scale on the camera bump. And likely 4 cameras, though some are even speculating 5. It's getting wild out there. 2019, Willie do.
5.
What a time to be alive.
Are we, are there too many cameras going on? Or
I think it's getting out of hand.
Might be.
You can't concentrate anymore.
It's too many.
You go to snap a photo real quick. You try to capture the moment. You're having a blast. It's a party.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you're cycling through 5 different cameras, and everyone's gone. Yeah. And you're standing in the room alone.
Like, hey.
And the music is gone, and you have no idea what happened. Yeah. And the lights are on, and you're staring at yourself in the mirror.
Where'd the mirror come from?
No, you know what I'm talking about? Like that experience if you're, and of course, this is not me in like a decade, but you're at a bar or a club or something, and you think you're cool. You think you're cool for a minute, maybe around 1:30 a.m. or something. You have a moment, you had a couple beers, so you're cool. And then it's getting ready to wind down, and all the people who run the place are sober, and they've seen it every night, and it's so annoying and boring to them.
Yeah.
And you and your friends, you're the cool, like, this is, and then sure enough, it gets ready to shut down, and the lights come on, and it's just a grim reality that hits you.
Yeah.
Of just how
the music and the lights are just off at the same time,
and
or the lights are on.
It's almost like you begin to hear the fluorescent hum, and you're just, what have I done? What am I doing?
Yeah.
God.
It's a
You're
moment
forced
of realization.
Yeah, you all of a sudden run the analysis on yourself. That's the mirror I was talking about. So that could be you. That's you at that party, and you're going through your 5 camera lenses right at the moment that happens and the lights come on, and you hate yourself.
Yeah, it's just sadness.
For cycling 5 different cameras. But no, you know what it is, Will? It's just competition. That's all it is. It's healthy. It's becoming harder to make the case that you should be getting the attention in this marketplace, or that you should be considered in this marketplace at all, comparative to what else is out there. And if other premium phone makers are doing something similar, if Samsung's throwing more cameras, people never thought Apple was going to have 3 cameras sitting on the back. Mm-hmm. People never thought they'd see it happen, but eventually it's the way it goes. I mean, I remember, once again, going back to the old days of PCs and 486s and what. I remember when you would see the Pentium 4 sticker on there. You say, oh, man, I got to have one of those. Mm. It was a spec chasing, but you can't help it. Even if you don't think you're going to use it, you kind of want to have the option. You kind of want to know that you're spending the grand and it's there, whether I use it or don't use it. Some other stuff that can be taken away here from this little leaked image, or at least some other specs that are being predicted. 6.57-inch AMOLED display with a dual hole punch design. What? A dual hole punch? Did we see that yet? No. So that's going to be an interesting look. It's going to look like a face or something with a couple of eyes on it, depending how far they space them. But they'd have to actually be towards the center to control that strange effect that happened with the S10, S10 Plus, where you kind of have to, if you're trying to take a selfie or video conference or something, you have to kind of tip the thing a little bit because the hole punch is up in the corner. Was not an issue for me ever because I'm not really doing that extensively. But you would just assume that Huawei's probably going to put them somewhat close together. So 2 hole punches near the center. That'll be interesting to see if that does actually happen. And then also, in terms of the internals, expected to pack a Kirin 990 5G SoC. And September 2020. Specs-wise, okay. Oh, baby. The dogs are interested in the P40. Maybe that's their next phone. I think it'll be interesting. Definitely worth looking at. It also looks crazy thin in this particular image. Mm-hmm. It looks really thin, and that's one thing that happens with the waterfall display, is that the perception, there becomes a perception of thinness that's even beyond the physical structure because the frame of the device shrinks so much. So I get it. I hear the criticism. Where do I grip the thing? Where do I hold? What do I do? I hear all that. But there's no doubt when you hold on to it, there's kind of a futuristic vibe. It's impressive from an engineering standpoint, even if the practicality is limited.